Hello and welcome back. I'm glad I ended that video when I did because it was 45 minutes long. So that's still quite long, but like I said, I have way too much fun and I completely lose track of time. I do that when I'm playing Minecraft. I do that when I'm making videos. I'm really confused. I don't know which way to go first. Okay, well, we'll go out this way and I will show you. I believe, yes, I'm still in creative mode, so I'm going to fly a little bit. These villagers are not doing a very good job of keeping their farm tilled. This gazebo, I do need to make a video to show how to do this, or this, it's really not a gazebo, it's an archway, I guess. I like it. I think it's cool looking. I am considering tearing it out from this backyard, so to speak, because I think it's a little much for this area. It's kind of crowded, so looks like I need to do some work on these little gardens. One of the things that, and I could be wrong, it may not be the case now, but I think what causes this, you see where the farmland is now dirt instead of farmland, I think it's because, you see how he walks on the crops? I think that is a factor. If I'm wrong, please let me know so that I don't give out false information or incorrect information. But anyway, this is the one of the yard areas for this building. And this building was done, the roof is in cobblestone. The corners are done in smooth stone. I smelted cobblestone. The walls granite. I used coarse dirt for the flower bed so that it didn't have grass grow back over it. And then of course there's the stone bricks for the foundation. The floor in there is birch, and it looks like the roof, I forgot to look at the ceiling. Yes, I put some dark oak stairs along inside so that it gave a little bit more detail to the ceiling. A lot of times I will just use a regular ceiling and it's flat, but there are other times when I like the depth, so I will just use the roof, the underside of the roof. And then this is intended to be, these are obviously iron pressure plates, so you can go in and out. But this is intended to be the new blacksmith shop. And you have to be careful because you can go up on top of these iron bars. You can jump up here. I didn't want my villagers jumping in the lava, so I was trying to keep it safe. They do climb just like the animals climb. If there's something for them to climb on, you'll see people jump on top of stuff all the time. I don't know if I've lost any villagers in here or not. To prevent this, you could easily add a row of slabs right here so they can't jump up there. But, and I had that at one time, but I thought, you know what, I want it open because I like the look of it being open. It's supposed to be where a blacksmith can heat his metal. And I really would rather not even have these bars here, but if I didn't, I'm sure they would burn to death on a regular basis. So I did make that concession for their safety. Now, if they're silly enough to jump up here and land in the lava, not a lot I can do about it. Not a lot I'm going to do about it. Just let them go. But anyway, I put the extra furnaces here for smelting. Obviously, I have a ton of furnaces down in the warehouse. But as I said, I don't want everything to be restricted to that building. That building is supposed to be a main hub. It's supposed to be where you can go and find whatever you need. But I want the village to be functional, I guess, to a degree. So anyway, that's supposed to be where the blacksmith can heat the metal up so that he can use the anvil to bang it into whatever shape and then stick it in the water to cool it down. I like to bury workbenches because they make a pretty tile for the floor, for one thing, and it's handy, and it doesn't take up floor space when they're buried. I have multiple times used buried furnaces simply for this texture for the floor because of the black trim. I like the way that looks. So don't let yourself get in the habit of feeling like you have to always do something a certain way. No matter how crazy or weird it seems, try it. Do it. Leave it. Come back to it later. Look at it. If you don't like it, take it out. If you do like it, you've got something new to play with. A lot of times, the things that I come up with are an accident. I come up with them because I run out of resources and I had to make do with something else, or I wasn't in the mood to go hunt resources, so I made do with what I had, or I accidentally put blocks in the wrong area and I come back and I go, oh, that actually looks pretty good. So don't limit yourself. This is a place to be as creative as you can be. So don't lock yourself into a box. As you can see, the blacksmith area of it. So basically, this would be the blacksmith shop, and that would be the blacksmith's house where he lives. But this is done in the smooth stone. Again, the brick stones, the smooth or the stone bricks, and then the cobblestone for the top. And like I said, the flower beds, it's just leaves and flowers scattered around. I use diorite for the pathways because I like the look. I like the brightness of the white. Scar, if you've watched any of my Minecraft videos, I talk about Scar all the time. I love Scar. I think Scar is a genius. There are some things he does that are not exactly my style exactly, but it feeds my imagination. It gives me ideas all the time. He calls this block cookies and cream, and I love that description. But I do try to stick with the actual names so people know what they're looking for. I used cobblestone walls as the torch holders here on top of these fences. The fences are made with iron bars and then the stone slabs, as you can see. Some people like the grass. They like to put the grass around. I don't know why I don't. I guess I think it makes it look dirty. I like my yards mowed, basically. So I always take out the grass. There are some areas where I will intentionally put grass to add some depth. But more often than not, on my building sites, you're not going to find grass sitting around. Because I'm just weird like that. Okay, this building, the color scheme, I got an idea from Stud Muffin Sam. He did a video on a little pizzeria. And I did not make this exactly like he made his. But I liked the combination of the red brick with the red clay. This is hardened, stained red clay. Now, if you don't have a mesa or you haven't found your mesa yet and you don't have enough clay to make the hardened clay and then stain it, you can always use red wool. It's really easy to dye a sheep red and harvest wool. So it's going to be basically the same. One thing I love about Minecraft is the versatility in your materials. You're not stuck. Like the white here that you see, a lot of people would use granite for that. I'm not granite, quartz. A lot of people would use the quartz blocks for that. Well, at this time when I made this building, I had not been to the Nether yet, and even though I boosted my resources, it doesn't boost everything. It doesn't boost your glowstone, doesn't boost your quartz. It just boosts those ores. So quartz is not something I can get a hold of easily. So I used iron blocks. So you can see how much iron I have mined in order to have enough for blocks. But to me it has pretty much the same look. And if you don't have that kind of iron, if you didn't boost your resources, you can always use the stone slabs. There'll be a little line in between, but you'll still have the white look. So, or you could use white wool. Wool is easy to come by and there wouldn't be any lines at all. Again, there's a lot of options. You could also use snow, okay? As long as you didn't use a type of lighting that would melt it, you'd be okay. But anyway, let's go inside. This is the smooth stone slabs just stacked up here. And then, of course, this is more stone wall. I love the cobblestone wall. It's very versatile. And I'm not real big on having massive amounts of cobblestone in my builds, but it does have a nice texture. It does make a nice accent. Hello, we're going to look at your house. Dark oak. If you've seen any of my videos at all, you know that dark oak is my favorite dark wood. Birch is my favorite light wood. I use it a lot. I just love it. I don't know why. I just love it. But anyway, instead of just putting torches on the wall directly, which is fine, I often use a fence to make a sconce, or, you know, what would look kind of like a sconce. As you can see, this ceiling is done with the stone slabs, and it is flat. I did not take advantage of the shape of the roof. But I have the iron around the top, and then I have the stone slabs. And then I use the stone slabs for the roof. At some point, I will come through and decorate all of these houses on the inside so that they have furniture. And of course, he has a little garden back here. Almost every house that I have done in this village so far has some kind of a garden. Because, like I said in my last video, I don't know for sure, with this being 1.8, I don't know if it's the doors and buildings that attracts the villagers and makes them spawn. I don't know if it's the gardens, but both seem to be a factor that play into it, so I'm going to play on to both, just to cover my bases. Now, a lot of people use stairs for their roofs, and they look really nice, and I do that sometimes myself, but I really find that I like the, no, I'm not missing a slab. I did that on purpose. Okay. I thought I was missing a slab on the corner. But I like the slabs. Some of them I'm stammering. But I like the slabs. Now on this one, I used an alternate. Some of these are slabs and some of these are full blocks. But you still get the same effect. Now, one of the videos I have watched, and obviously I say that, I've said that several times now, if not in this video, in the previous one. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I watch a lot of Minecraft YouTube videos because it gives me ideas. It teaches me things. You can watch 20 videos about the same concept, say building a house. You can watch 20 different how to build this house videos, but maybe number 15, the commentator will just tell you something and you're like, I did not know that. So there's a reason. You learn a lot. You learn a lot. One thing I want to make clear, there are people that, in one of Stud Muffin Sam's videos, he mentions one of his older videos. It's like 3 years old, I believe it was. He talks about the fact that some of his viewers were leaving negative comments accusing him of stealing an idea from somebody. I believe it was a stable that he was doing. And they accused him of stealing so-and-so's idea for the stable. Okay, well, first of all, if you're going to put your stuff on a YouTube video and post it for the world to see, then you've shared that idea. You've shared that concept. You've shared that build. If you're going to show somebody how to build something, then you really don't have the right to get your panties in a twist if someone actually watches your video and uses what you taught them. So if you don't want them to use it, why put it up there? That's my first point. My second point is, if I built a 10 by 10 house right now, that doesn't mean that I'm the only person who's thought of a 10 by 10 house. There's a lot of houses out there that are 10 by 10s. A lot of starter houses are 10 by 10. It doesn't mean that I copied someone else's 10 by 10. It's just a common build. So, the guy that made the toothpick, do you think he was the only person to stick a sliver of wood in his mouth to dig at his teeth? No. He's the guy who patented it. Patented it? I can't even say it. He got the patent on it. Okay? That doesn't mean he's the only person who ever used a toothpick. It just means he was the one who named it and got the patent. So, excuse me. I really don't see why people get so caught up on, oh, well, that was my idea. Well, that was my idea. If you don't want people to see your ideas, you don't want people to use your ideas, don't put them on YouTube. Very simple. Anyway, that little rant is over. So this little house here, that was supposed to be a business. This one is just meant to be a house. It's just a little house for a villager. Now, this one here, this is made all of wool. This is all black wool, white wool, and purple wool on the inside. This is my magic house. Okay, and then of course I use the pumpkins for lighting and then stained glass. The black, again, wool is easy to get a hold of. So it's an easy material to work with. And I put my portal here, as you can see. And then I have my enchantment table here. Now, what I was talking about in the previous video about not having to go to the warehouse for everything, you use Lapis Lazuli to enchant. So I have a chest up here, so I have my materials for enchanting. I threw in a workbench and an anvil so that I could use books or whatever to add to it. So it's convenient. Okay. Now, I don't recommend having your chest sitting up here on top of the bookcases. I don't like the way that looks. When I come in here and actually decorate, I will change that. Those are not going to stay up there. That annoys me. They will probably be buried in the floor somewhere. I'll have to figure something out. Because I want to be able to reach them from the enchantment table. So I'll figure out a system. But I don't like them up there. If you like them up there, that's great. I just don't. And again, any of these houses that you see, if you want to see a build, or if you simply want more dimensions, I will count them off, or show the build, or whatever you want. Now, with this being a magic house, I thought pumpkins were appropriate here. So, and then here I did a gazebo. Again, with the fence, except this time in the dark oak. And of course I put the leaves on top and got the vines to grow. And there's just a little picnic table in here and some flowers. It's nothing fancy, but it has a nice look to it. So I really like this. I probably overuse it. And I did not see someone else do this on another video. That does not mean no one else has ever done this. I'm not trying to claim that this is originally my idea. This did come out of my brain, but I did not see a build done for this. That doesn't mean that 50 other people haven't done the same thing. I'm not the only person capable of original thought. Anyway, so that's the magic house. We're going to go back up this way. So I'm trying to keep a pattern here. Now, this is an apartment complex. That's what this is. And you have doors here. Again, the vines have been a problem here. I've had to come back and bust them off so they aren't on the doors. This is the one apartment. Front door, back door, and then you have the upstairs units. See? Vine. Look, they're stuck. Okay. And then of course the upstairs, they get a balcony. Then of course the other end is the same. they're symmetrical. I'm real big on symmetry. Once in a while, I'll go crazy and make something off kilter on purpose for artistic value or whatever you want to call it. But most of my stuff's pretty symmetrical. This is supposed to be a little playground. The little monkey bars or whatever you call it when you swing by your arms to go from one end to the other. That's what that's supposed to be. That's done with fences and gates. And in order to get a gate up there like that, you have to like put a dirt block across here to place your gates, then bust the dirt, put the dirt here, place your gates, bust the dirt. You get the picture. This is supposed to be a slide. Again, I have not seen a video on these things before. Again, that does not mean I'm the only person in the world who's thought of this. If you have kids, chances are you've thought about a playground. Obviously, this is supposed to be a swing, or at least I hope it's obvious. I wish I could make it actually swing. That would be cool. Then, of course, we have a meeting area for the residents. We've got picnic tables back here for them, a grill of sorts. I really wanted to do some kind of rails or something up here so that it looked like you actually had a grill, but in order to keep the NPCs out of the fire and in order to keep it reasonably proportionate to the avatar size, you know, because you put your avatar up here, it does look like they're sitting at a table. But I didn't, in order to get it to look the way I really wanted it to look, it would have had to been too big. So I just kept it simple. And that doesn't mean that you can't build one bigger with the rails or whatever you want to use for the actual grill. But for me, I prefer to try to keep it as proportional as I can. And then, of course, this one has a rather large garden, but it's supposed to be for an apartment complex. So to me, this would be like a community garden. Then, of course, we have a pool with a diving board, and underneath several of these slabs are buried jack-o'-lanterns. With the slab on top and the slabs surrounding them, they do not put off a ton of light, but there is a bit of a glow at night, and it looks kind of cool. That is diamond block in the bottom. As you saw in the previous video, I am resource rich because I boosted those when I created the world. So decorating with diamond blocks is not a big deal for me. If you're in survival mode and you're using default, that would be a huge deal. It's not going to be common for you to use diamond blocks to be decorative. It's too hard to come by and you need it for too many other things that are more important than just pretty. Okay, so that's the apartment complex and the playground. I really like my playground. I think that's kind of cool. Every once in a while I do something and I think, you know what, that's actually a pretty good idea. And I get a little bit smug. This is just a house. It doesn't have a particular purpose. It's not like the magic house or the blacksmith's house. This is a simple water fountain. It's just a basic design. I really tried to do something a little fancier, but I got frustrated and tore it out and just went with the simple. It's cobblestone. You can see the cobblestone, and then those are just regular stone slabs down there. And then I just made a pillar of stone slabs and put water on top. That's all it is. It's very simple, but it has a nice look. You don't have to go into a lot of intricacies to get a nice look. It doesn't have to be fancy. Sometimes the simple thing is the best. And I don't know necessarily that is the best, but for me at that moment it was, because I was getting frustrated. When you stop having fun, you have a problem. This is a game. It's supposed to be fun. So, we'll go inside. This is a lot more fence, as you can see. This is made out of sandstone with a dark oak. and I use the underneath of the roof as the ceiling. Lot of tall windows to go with the tall ceilings, and then I have a fireplace. Oh, here, see, I use the furnaces for the tile. I like the way that looks. This is not a fancy fireplace. It's just netherstone or netherrack brick, and then netherrack brick stairs and netherrack brick slabs. And then, of course, I have the raw netherrack inside there, and I used a flint and steel to light them, and iron bars across the front. If you do a fireplace, please make sure you leave plenty of empty space between your fire and your next level, or you will burn it down. It will burn. Do some experiments. Go somewhere where you don't care about anything that's around it. Play with it. I watched a video on how to do fireplaces quite a while back. For some reason, it stuck in my mind that you needed 6 empty tiles above the flame. But Rift, my buddy that plays here with me, he recently put a fireplace, or was experimenting with a fireplace, because he wants to put one in his cabin, which is made of wood. So he said that it's 7 tiles. So you can experiment it for yourself, or go with 7 tiles to be safe, or throw in an extra and go 8 to be safe. But anyway, make sure you leave plenty of space, or you will catch it on fire, and you might be a little upset when you log back in and your house is gone. I have a loft. I did stairs here. This would probably be for the bed. Probably have a simple bed up here. Nothing fancy. I did have the railing extend to here because I didn't want the NPCs falling off, but it was off, and I couldn't get the symmetry I wanted in order to put the torches up. It was just off a block or something, and I wasn't going to tear out a whole wall for that. I have done that before, though. I'm that obsessed. So I just took the railing out, and I will probably put chests here or something to keep them from falling. Even if they do fall, it's not enough fall damage to kill somebody, unless they do it repeatedly. So, but if they're going to do that, then they probably deserve to croak. Okay. Again, I have gardens. This one has a significant garden. I have carrot. Well, okay. I believe I had all this part as potatoes, that part is wheat, this part is carrots, that part is wheat. But when the villagers do the replanting, they pretty much do what they want to do. So if you have a pretty little pattern, your NPCs are going to mess it up. So either don't do it around the NPCs, or just accept it, because it's going to happen. Anyway, that's the other little house. Then I have this as a barrier to separate the town from, and I did like little air quotes with my fingers as if you can see them, to separate the town from the farm community. Kind of keep the sheep poop smell away from the house or whatever. Lots of flowers to try to deflect that odor. At some point, when I get all this other stuff finished and I get more of my village done, I will come back in here and make some kind of an archway, probably with fences, kind of like the gazebo. I'll make some pretty little archway or something so you can pass from one area to the other. Right now, you have to go all the way around, which is a bit annoying. But right now, I have it barricaded. As you can see, I gathered a lot of sheep, but I did not gather as many as you might think. I gathered a few. I used the wheat to have them breed. Then I would come back and I'd breed them again. I'd come back and breed them again, and come back and breed them again. And I have quite a few. And I went through my list that I showed you in the last video of all the item IDs or whatever. I've played Minecraft for quite a long time. And I still, at this point that I did this, did not have all of the dyes. I had seen, like Scar has used the cyan dye in some of his builds, and I've seen the lime dye in some builds. And again, that's one of those things where I kept thinking, I need to look that up. And of course I never did because I got distracted with this or that or whatever. Sorry about that. So anyway, that was another advantage to doing that little warehouse and going through to have every item accounted for, because it gave me the opportunity to check off a few things on my mental list and go, oh yeah, I've always wanted to do this lime dye. How is that done? And I researched it and I found it and I did it. And I was like, oh, cool. And like the light blue dye, you can make the light blue dye with the lapis-lazuli and bone meal, or you can just use the little blue orchids that you find in the swamps. My personal recommendation would be to use the lapis-lazuli and the bone meal, because even though it seems easier to use the orchids, they're not as plentiful. It's much easier to kill skeletons and get bones, and the lapis-lazuli, well, with the resources bumped anyway, the lapis-lazuli is easy to come by. So for me, I prefer to use the lapis-lazuli and the bone meal for my light blue dye, because those flowers are hard to come by. Unless you're in creative mode, but if you're in survival mode, they're kind of scarce. So, and of course, you can always go to a swamp and pick all the flowers, and then use bone meal on the ground, and they'll grow back, and you can pick them again. So if you have plenty of bone meal, they're not scarce at all. This is going to be another animal pen. I started back here. I just got this part excavated and made this walkway. Behind here is going to be cows. I've already decided that. And the reason I'm going to have the cows is I need a slaughter. I still need a ton of leather because I need to stock up on books. I want to enchant a bunch of books. And it takes a lot of leather. And I really am not looking forward to another cow slaughtering spree like I did with the item frames, but it's going to have to happen in order for me to get what I want. This will all be excavated. I'll probably put like sheep or not sheep, horses or pigs or something over here. Anyway, this half of this area is going to be for animals, and I'm going to make a large farm where there will actually, be like a field of wheat and a field of carrots and a field of pumpkins instead of just the little gardens. Not that we need that much food, because there's only 2 of us and most of the time we're in peaceful mode. We do put it in normal sometimes if I need bone, for bone meal, or I need string for something, and we'll go hunt. Or if we're just in the mood to go kill stuff, we'll change the setting to normal instead of peaceful. So we do need food for that, but most of the time we stay on peaceful. So the farm with the massive amounts of crops, it's going to be for decoration more than anything. And I will eventually have a stable in each pen for the animals. The reason this pen is so large is not just because I'm being excessive, but by the time I build a barn, that's going to eat up a lot of this ground space, for one thing. And on another world that I played, I had so many sheep in a pen that they were literally pushing each other over the fence. Now, as it is right now, they can't jump up here because I have these bars and I have the slabs. They cannot jump up here and escape. But if you get a pen that isn't large enough and you have too many animals, they will bump each other until somebody ends up on top of the fence, and they will be out. They will escape. Because I went back to that area and I saw a white sheep that was out. Well, I thought, okay, so I've got somebody that wandered up. So I lured him into the pen. I came back another time and there was like a pink sheep out. Well, I knew that pink sheep had to have come from inside the pen because I dye them after I get them inside. And for those of you who are not familiar with dyeing your sheep, if you kill this white sheep, you might get 1 to 3 chunks of wool, okay? And of course a piece of mutton. But if you use shears and shear the sheep, you're going to get more wool. You can take all that white wool and you can dye it with the dyes in a crafting bench. Or you can just dye the sheep, and every time you shear this sheep, you're going to get blue wool. So that's much more cost efficient and time efficient. So anyway, that's why they're all in here like this, all the different colors. But I will be doing a barn, and that is why this is so large, because I don't want them bumping each other out. Alright, over here is my little experiment area. My little obsidian farm. For those of you who are not aware, I will show you how to. I'll go ahead and leave this in. We need water. Okay, let me take some of this. I don't want to lose my stuff. This stuff I actually mined. Okay. We need water and we need lava. So for those of you who do not know how to make your own obsidian, I'm going to show you real quick. Okay, I hope you didn't hear that. I just turned my mic off for a second because I had to sneeze. Actually, I had to do it twice. Oh, okay. Anyway, here's what the process. Water. Water, water, water. Water. Just dig a hole in the ground, fill it up with water. Okay, I got it full, it's all level, and it doesn't necessarily have to be smooth or whatever. I just do that because I'm weird. And then add lava. Now, in order for this to work, you have to have 2 tiles available. I'll show you as we get towards the end. Okay, let's just do this on purpose so that you can see. See how that was single? It went back. It went to lava. Now, if you have water down and you add lava, as you see, it makes obsidian. If you have lava down and you add water, well, that just took the lava right back out. Well, if you've seen it in a cave, when the water and the lava hit each other, depending on which one hits first, it'll make stone. If the water is down first and you put the lava on top, as you've seen, it makes obsidian. So that's how you can farm obsidian. Then the only way to mine obsidian is with a diamond pick. And, oh, I was just going to say it's not fast. Oh, I'm in creative mode. Dadgummit. Okay, let's try this again. This is a diamond pick. It's enchanted with efficiency 2, and it still took a second to mine that. So, it's just not a fast process. And if you just have a regular diamond pick, it's going to take a lot longer. So, you want to, I'm not going to keep that because that was not... Alright, let me get rid of this stuff because I didn't... No. Dadgummit. Let's go over here. Because I didn't collect that. That's not my stuff. Okay. So we're back in creative mode. Anyway, that's how you do that. Now, what this was supposed to be, I saw a video where a guy said you could farm clay. As you know, in order to get clay, you go to an ocean or a riverbed and you can see this is gravel, that's sand, that's dirt, but this gray here, that's clay. Okay. And use a shovel. You can even use your bare hand if you want to. One block will give you 4 balls of clay. Okay? Then those 4 balls, you can make a block of clay and then cook it, smelt it to make hardened clay, and then you can stain it. Or I have to be careful with the diamond tools because they really dig fast. I don't want to dig a big hole. Or you can take these and stick them in an oven as balls, and it will smelt, or a furnace rather, and it will smelt and it'll make clay bricks. And then you use those bricks to make the red bricks that, like you saw, that house was made with. The entryway, anyway. Anyway, it's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes to go clay hunting. Obviously, I haven't done it here because you can see there's several patches of clay still that haven't been mined. And you can find them in the riverbeds, you can find them in the swamps, you can find it's usually pretty plentiful in a swamp area. But still, it's time consuming to go hunt it down. And now, like I said, this is my Realm server. And my friend and I play here. There's only 2 of us. So no, we do not need massive amounts of resources. But at the same time, I do have other things to do with my day. And I'm not always in the mood to go hunting clay. But in order to build a house out of brick, it takes quite a bit. So I have been trying to find a way to farm clay the way I can farm the obsidian. Well, I saw this video and the guy was like, okay, you just dig a hole, you put a layer of soul sand, then you put a layer of gravel, and then you cover it with water. And I watched the video, and within a few seconds, his gravel turned to clay. Well, and he did glass walls. Well, he did the glass walls simply so the viewer could see the process. I thought, well, I don't need glass walls. So I dug this 3 deep. I put a layer of soul sand from the nether. Then I put the gravel on top. Then I put the water. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited some more. And I waited some more, and I went and got something to eat, and I came back, and I went and got something to drink, and I came back, and I put Netflix on, watched a little bit of Netflix, and I kept checking, and it didn't change. It was still gravel. So I thought, okay, maybe there's more to the glass walls than what I thought. So I did another deal. And as you can see, there's the soul sand, there's the gravel, there's the water. It's still gravel. I did this days ago. So apparently that little trick doesn't work anymore, or I have messed it up. The only thing I can think of that I have done differently is my soul sand is not sitting in dirt. He had his soul sand in the ground, and then the gravel and the water was in the wall of the glass. So, but anyway, in order for that to work, it should have worked here. He only did the glass so that we could see it. I have found another video that said they showed that they were just putting gravel in the water and it was turning to clay. Well, if that was the case, then this would work and that would work. So I really don't know how to farm clay. If anybody knows a way that works in 1.8, I would love to know, please. Let's see. I was going to show you something else. Oh, I was going to take you to the Nether. Let's go back to the magic house. I'm going to go out of creative mode. And by the way, in case you didn't know it, T brings up your chat, and you can do hold down your control and up arrow to scroll back up through things that you've typed in before. Actually, I'm going to let's go ahead and stop this video here, and I'll start the next one in the Nether. Again, I want to thank you for your time. Your time is an asset. You cannot get it back once it's spent. And if you shared any of it with me, that's a gift. And I really do appreciate it. I hope you and yours are happy and well. And I do hope you will come back for the next episode. I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.